Hey guys, so today was my first day of university and I'm going to tell you everything about it. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about my last 2 days here because I realized I haven't been able to make a video, but I still want to capture my whole college experience. So let's talk about Saturday. On Friday, I mentioned I was super tired, and in the morning, I got up and we had like our mandatory floor meeting, and we went to Edison Theater to watch performance about Our Name, Our Story, and I fell asleep. Did not wake up. Honestly, felt like I blacked out. I barely remember like getting to my dorm afterwards. We were supposed to have like a conversation on it, and when we got up, they went to the common room, and I just like ran to my room, napped for 6 hours. It's pretty bad. I was just like so out of it. When I woke up, I still felt like super tired. I woke up about like 4:30 and I went to bed at, or I guess 4, and I went to bed at 10:45, like during the day. So I missed like all the mandatory events, which was totally fine, I guess. And then I went to dinner. I think I sat alone, like I didn't really see anybody I knew. And then we had like a floor meeting, and I don't really remember. Oh yeah. We went to go see a performance. Excuse me. We went to go see a performance called The Date at Graham Chapel, put on by some of the students here that advocate against, sexual violence, and they showed us like how it actually happens on college campuses, how it affects people. And then we had like a conversation afterwards about it, and I mean, no one really wanted to talk about it. It was like really awkward. Everyone was kind of quiet. I felt like they were kind of babying us, like, what is consent? What does it sound like when you get consent? And so one girl was just like, yes. And they're like, yup, well, that's the most basic one. What else? And I decided to like break the ice but be serious. And I was like, oh, you can say, ooh, yeah. And everyone started laughing. And afterwards, like, people came up to me and said that like it was so funny and it made them like feel better about the whole thing. The discussion was still kind of weird. But afterwards, they had Sup All Night, which is held by the student union. And we got there, and I hope you guys can hear me. The fridge just turned on. And they had like a blow up like rock wall. They had a ride the bull. They had like you could buy t-shirts. The student groups were giving out like candy to people who signed up. They had food, cheese. I had cheese and hummus. They had ice pops. They had an ice pop and some candy. They had make your own buttons, photos. I couldn't really find anyone to hang out with that much, so I was just kind of solo. I did find like someone that I hung out with for like a while though, and then we ended up leaving, and we sat in the common room and talked till like 1:30, so that was like pretty good. A bunch of people were like going out to parties, like frat parties. I just was not about it. Like after what had happened on Friday night, I did not want to get all dressed up just to, I don't know. So yeah, but it was good. And then Sunday, I actually woke up for the events that we were going to, and we had to go see a video called Bearings, which is a very like cringy video about like what happens if you're like disruptive, and they catch you using alcohol or catch you intoxicated. And the video was like so bad that everybody was laughing really hard. And afterwards we had to have a discussion just about like the alcohol policy here and different things that'll happen to you, and the drug policy and party policy, and it was just kind of dumb, but we did it. And then went to lunch. I don't really remember too much about yesterday. I know I like took a little bit of a nap after that, and then my eyebrows. Here. I took a nap, and then tried to do some of my Spanish homework. And then, I went to like my advising meeting and I met like a bunch of people that are in some of my classes. And our advisor just talked about things we mostly already heard, but things we need to know for academics. And then we had dinner. Don't remember who I ate with. Probably alone. Or maybe I just sat with some random people. I don't remember. And then we had like another mandatory meeting. And they just gave us like tips for class today now. And like, we asked our questions and everything. I actually learned some like important things like, don't pack up before the professor says that you can leave. Turn off your phones, no headphones, don't eat in class unless they tell you to. And it really saved me because like there's lots of kids doing that today, and although like they didn't yell at us today, I'm sure they'll definitely like say something at some point. And I'm glad it won't be me. And so yeah, and then the meeting lasted 2 hours, which was pretty terrible. And then everyone wanted to like go see a movie on the swamp, but I was swamped with Spanish homework, which she didn't even collect today, but at least I don't have to do it tonight. So, there's a benefit and a con to that. But I stayed up like doing that, and hopefully I can like still finish it. And then today, I woke up, actually, last night I was like really freaking out. I took a shower and I got in bed around like 12, I'd say, which is like the time I wanted to. And like put together some of my stuff, and I was like really nervous. I had really bad dreams about like one of my worst fears, which is spiders. I had dreams I was in my house and there's just like big spiders everywhere, and I was like begging my mom to kill them, and there were like bites on me. And then I was like driving through town, and I always have this dream that my brakes weren't working, and I was just like blasting through stop signs and I just couldn't get them to stop. And so I was very stressed out. But I woke up early, I got ready. I couldn't find like any of my summer clothes. I feel like I probably left them at home, made me really upset. I feel like I look fat and everything, especially compared to a lot of the girls here. I feel it, and so I ended up wearing this, which was kind of cute. I got like some compliments on what I was wearing, and I did my makeup, which is kind of like worn off by now, but there's still some color to my eyebrows, my lashes. And then me and my roommate set off because we learned we had our like first 2 classes together, so we decided to go with each other. And we did not have time to eat breakfast, which I really regret because I need like breakfast. I've always like had it, so I definitely need it. And I'm gonna try to like work on that, but I think because it won't be the first day, it'll be a little bit easier. I also think I need to buy some more like school supplies. Not really sure. I'm pretty like overwhelmed like with what I need, textbooks, homework, like just supplies wise. But I'm working through it. And so we went off in the underpass. They were like giving out like a pen and like a granola bar, which I already had some, so I was like, I'm fine. But I got my like picture taken with my first day, Wash U 22, in front of like the wall by a professional photographer. I don't know how it looks. They were supposed to post them tonight, but they didn't. So I will post those tomorrow for everybody. And then we were off. We had to walk all the way down to Brown. We got to our calc class like super early though, so I probably could have had breakfast. I sat next to my roommate Grace, and then the other side of me there was a boy named Keith. Very nice, a little timid, he was on his phone. And then like our professor came in, he wrote like some problems on the board. I found out I needed like a workbook, or I need it like soon. I don't know if I can get that one for like a cheaper price because it's like a workbook I have to like write in it. and then he's only started using it this year, so I don't know if there would be like an older one to use. And there we go, that's better. But yeah, so I don't know, I was able to keep up with the problems mostly. You know, we just did like some refresher stuff. Some kids were like very confused. You know, some of the kids sitting around us, some kids were like, oh, I got this, you know, I'm moving up like a different class level. So I don't know, hopefully I do well. I really don't want to have to drop down to Calc 1. And they came out with like the peer-led team learning applications, and I signed up tonight so I can get a spot to get like some tutoring. And yeah, so hopefully if I just utilize all my resources, I'll do well. At least a B, I hope. So yeah, and then we had to like book it to our next class in Simon Hall, which was Intro to Psych. And by the time we got there, there must have been like 300 kids in this class. We almost had to sit in like the back extra chairs. But I found like a chair, and I had like met some friends along the way. We were like, hey. But we all had to like precipitate because there wasn't like any chairs together. So I like hiked over people, and I sat like 4 rows from the front. And like some people noticed me because I was like in the front, whatever. And I sat next to this girl. She's a sophomore. She didn't really seem happy to be there at first, but once we got talking, she was like really nice, and I got her email. But yeah, and so our teacher just went over like what is psychology, what this class is going to be about. Yeah, just talking about how big it is. We did like some like get to know you by like raising our hands, like if we are from the South, if we are from America, if we, you know, different things. And so yeah, and then afterwards I went to the Duck, and I had a piece of the Duck. It's a cafeteria. So I went to the Duck, and I had a piece of pizza. I'm actually like starting to like get used to the food, so I don't think it's that bad anymore. And I was like just sitting there, and I realized like my friends Aya and Mingy were sitting right there. So I like went over, I was like, hey guys. I sat with their friend, and we all talked about stuff. And it was good, but then I got nervous I was gonna be late for my class, so I like got up and left really early, and I got to Spanish like pretty early. And so I stood in the hallway with everyone else who was also really early, and there was a senior trying to finish a Spanish homework that was supposed to be due that class, and there was like another freshman boy, and then there was like another sophomore, there was a sophomore boy who showed up. And then like some other kids that were waiting for their Hindi class, which is like next door. Oh, also when I was walking out of the Duck, I ran into like the Catholic Student Union or something, and I took like a picture with their first day sign, and they tried to get me to like go to their Catholic dinner thing. But yeah, that's like besides the point. I don't know. Just thought I'd mention like where the pictures are gonna come from. So yeah, so I was waiting for a while, and then I don't know, I was like making jokes and like a little nervous, I guess. So I was trying to entertain. And then we got into my class, and there was only 12 kids, which was a very big difference from like Intro to Psych. And then like we did like partner pair up, where we like talked about like we had to talk in Spanish, which was a little hard to get like reaccustomed to. But everyone was just as nervous as I was, so I didn't feel that bad. And then, yeah, I don't know, she just talked about all the homework that's due, and I just had to purchase the textbook. It was $172. Shout out to OmniCard, College Point for paying for that. And I'm going to try to get the rest of my textbooks that don't require an online access code for cheap. but that one was like a little unavoidable just because you're just paying for like access to the website and you can't like buy that used. So yeah, and then I left, but I realized that my next class was in Dunker as well. So I went over there, and that was my mind, brain, behavior class. No. Yes, it was. Okay. So we got in there, and there was like 30 to 50 of us, and I sat next to some girls, and there was so I'm Katie, and there's Catherine and Caitlin and Kaylon. So yeah, hard for anyone else. We talked to like some boys around us, and Professor Duchek like noticed me from when we did like department open house. So that was like really nice to like wave to her and like be noticed in the crowd. But she wasn't like the professor teaching today. So then our teacher wants to be called Dave. Went over, the syllabus, everything about the class, and then just did like some like notes on how our brain transforms, reduces, elaborates, stores, encodes information, stimuli. Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get those books from someone who took it last year because they're just like 3 paperback books. And then I left and I stopped by the Deneb Lounge to get some donuts. And then I met with my like mentor. We took like a first year picture together. And when I used the bathroom, I happened to be next to card services, so I just asked them to help me with my Bearbucks. Turned out like the Bearbucks ID number is just the first, like it's on your ID. It's just like at the top. So yeah, good things to know. And then after that I went to class, and that was in Simon Hall again, and I was like pretty early. Again, I was just so nervous, so I got there really early, and I just like laid down on one of the benches. And then I saw Flora. I've met Flora like a couple times, and she noticed me, and so we started like talking. And then we went to like find our class together, and there was only, how many of us? 10 of us in the class. This is like our subsection. So like in the whole class there'll be like 70, but today was our subsection, so there's only 10 of us. And the teacher's like kind of soft-spoken, really bad with names. But yeah, there's only 2 guys in that class. The rest of us are girls. And then we just talked about the course, talked about what we're going to be reading. We're actually having one of the people that wrote one of like the books, it's like a comic series actually. They're coming on Halloween to like lecture to our class, so that's kind of interesting. It's always like cool to meet the author. And then and then we talked about like what identity is like in general, and then what it is like with us. And like what we're going to be doing in that course is like reading books to determine how other people have described identity. And so we ended that, and then Flora and I walked back to the South 40 together, and I told her about Deneb, and she said it was really cool that I was like a first generation college student, which I was really surprised about. She's from China, so maybe they think like a little bit differently about it, but I was like very like enheartened, and I don't know, I felt really good that she thought that it was like cool. And I went back to my room. I worked with Sophie, worked in the same room as Sophie, just like writing down all my dates and everything from my syllabus. I'm still like overwhelmed because there's like so much between academics, extracurriculars, the 40 events, things for my residential thing, and then just like going to like meetings for clubs, comedy shows, dinners, I don't know, just different things. I just need to figure out what I actually want to do and like write it down, which I'll be working on tomorrow after my homework. And so then I took like a nap, and then I woke up, called my mom, and then I went and got something to eat. I sat with like some girls who recognized me from Deneb, and then I sat with Amber and Sarah and some other of their friends. I know Amber and Sarah from pre-orientation. I sat with them, that was really good. And then I walked back to Park and worked on Spanish, I think. Oh, no. I applied for my like peer-led thing, and then I took a break, and then it was time for our floor meeting, which is so boring. People just kept talking. We had to like go over rules for the year, which was important, but no one else really like cared. And I have to come up with like roommate agreements and suite agreements. I also want to cut my nails like really long, and they're like starting to break, like all over the place. I need to do laundry. I need to find like all my school supplies, my clothes that I want to wear. So, and then yeah, but 5 classes was like a lot to have today. I was just so like, I don't know, just mentally frazzled just because there's so much information to take in and lots of walking that I'm not used to. At least I'm drinking more water, but I'm also eating like pretty poorly. I'm gonna try to like start adding in like recreational classes to my routine so I get like some like more exercise, like get used to it and everything, lose some weight. Yeah. And yeah, so then after our floor meeting, I came in here and I just worked on Spanish. I bought the textbook, and then I went on like the website and I started like making flashcards for the vocab, and that kind of took me up to where I am now. I decided to do my vlog, and yeah, I only have one class tomorrow at 10. It's just like my calc subsection. And I'm gonna like work on some homework and then some like self-care and extracurricular stuff. This Saturday actually, we're going on like our dorm building is going on a Mississippi riverboat cruise, which I signed up for, so that's really cool. It's like pirates take the Mississippi because like we're the pirates. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. I hope that a lot of people sign up, but like not too much that I don't get a ticket. Yeah, and also people are talking about like next Wednesday, Pete Davidson, which is like a comedian, is coming to campus. So that's kind of cool, but I don't know if I get a ticket, because it's crazy. Yeah, so if you watched this in its entirety, thank you. I know it's long. I just had like 3 days to cover, and today was like one of the most important. And yeah, now I think I'm just like gonna get washed up and hit the hay. Yeah. All right, love you guys.